It might be the summer breeze, it might be the summer trees, but I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
Coming up on today's episode, we find out what the immune system is and how it affects our health holistically. Our expert guests share their knowledge on how we can go about boosting our immunity and some of the lifestyle habits we can adopt to ensure a strong and resilient immune system.
I'm feeling better.
Hi there, and a warm welcome to another episode of Real Health. I'm Stacey Holland, and thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're tackling probably one of the most important topics when it comes to our well-being, the immune system, and how we can go about boosting it to help us maintain overall health and wellness. Well, I've invited into studio a health coach, Nicole Allen. She's an holistic health coach and nutritional therapist, Nikki Robertson, and our resident homeopath, Dr. Yashanta Padiachi. So it's great to have you guys in studio. It's a topic that I knew we were going to have to tackle, especially now ahead of the cold winter months, the immune system. Now, we hear the term immunity, and we think, well, what exactly is it?
Your immune system, as you said, it's your body as well as organs. So it's a whole system on its own, but it's also very integrated. So it's very difficult to classify them individually because all our organs work together holistically in order to help with our immune system. So your big organs you're looking at are, number one for me is the gut. The second would be your lymphatic system and also your spleen. But also in saying that, every part of your body has an immune receptor in it. So your skin has immune receptors, your nasal cavity has immune receptors, your gut, everything. So your immune system is very linked with your neurosystem. So everything that your neurological system picks up, your immune system actually picks up as well.
Yeah, and 70 to 80%, I keep on mentioning it, of your immunity is housed in your gut.
Yes,
so no matter what we talk about, we're going to find all of these topics overlapping. I mean, we did respiratory health, and then we spoke about the immune system, you know, and we did a whole topic on gut health, and now again we're talking about the immune system, and we've got to mention gut health again, Nikki.
Yeah, I mean, we're exposed to so many pathogens and toxins in the environment, and that is why we get sick so often. So many people will come into a practice and they'll go, I don't understand it. I never used to get sick. Now, as soon as I get better, I get sick again. And you've got to look at your stress levels. Your mental or your emotional health, emotional well-being is going to play a big part in your immune system. Because, I mean, think about it, when we were at school, when you go on holiday, no one gets sick because you're in a positive state of mind and you're in an excitable state of mind. But the minute you've got an emotional stressor or a deadline or something that's making you feel a little bit under the weather, mentally, emotionally, your immune system will be suppressed and you'll be more vulnerable to catching just about anything out there. So yeah, it's there's a big network or a big web of things that come to play. It's not just a case of getting the flu or one, something in isolation. It's very much the whole body you've got to look at when you look at things.
You actually triggered something now, and I don't know if you guys can answer this, but a friend of mine was saying that every December when she goes away on holiday, now she's got quite a high pressure job, she gets sick. You know, so for her, it's the converse. What's happening there?
She's relaxing and she's letting her guard down. So the minute you let everything go, you also can get susceptible. You can pick up what's going on in the environment.
Okay. So
we used to see that at exams as well at varsity. After exams, everyone just crashes and has
because you've been running on adrenaline.
That's exactly it.
And you relax and your cortisol levels are still, your stress hormone, your cortisol levels are still sky high.
And it's very anti-inflammatory, and then after everything settles, it's like the body's like, okay, now I'm actually going to deal with some stuff.
Yes, that's exactly
And obviously when you're stressed and you're under a lot of pressure, your immune system is suppressed. And then suddenly you relax and it's still suppressed. So it's still vulnerable. And then like Nikki said, you just pick up everything. Yeah,
and of course,
or can pick up everything. You don't have to, but you can.
What's the effect of exercise on immunity? Because people will say it's good to exercise, but at the same time, you hear the saying, if you have a flu, or not the saying, you hear the instruction, if you have a flu, stop exercising.
So it very much depends. Moderate, and it's one of those things that comes back to balance. Moderate intensity exercise is amazing for boosting your immune system. There have been research studies done where people who exercise less than once a week are susceptible to illness. People who exercise more than 3 times a week are susceptible to illness. But if you kind of meet somewhere in the middle, you're actually benefiting your immune system. High intensity exercise over a prolonged period does weaken your body's immune defenses.
That's where you see people training and then getting the
marathon
flu.
runners,
Yeah.
absolutely. Finish running a marathon, you are very vulnerable to any sort of bacteria and viruses that are in the air. You are a lot more likely to pick up illnesses. So it's one of those things where to boost your immune system, you should try and moderate your exercise. If you're ill, it depends very much on what you're ill with.
Okay.
You know, if you've got like a minor cold and you're just feeling a little bit down, low intensity exercise, especially if it's done outside, can be fantastic.
Like some
because
yoga and Pilates.
absolutely,
and
go for a
going
walk or a gentle cycle, ideally outside, because then you're it's fresh air, it's a better environment.
Some
as
vitamin
opposed to a
D there
gym.
with the sun.
Some vitamin
That's
D,
right.
100%. So that's quite good for you. But if you've got headaches or muscle pain or fever or vomiting or diarrhea or anything like that, then you really do your body no service exercising.
Okay.
Then you need to stop.
What compromises immunity? I know you were quite excited about talking about this, Nikki.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we don't take into account enough is being paranoid about cleanliness. Because, every time a child drops something, puts it in their mouth, we freak out.
And
You want to
arrows point,
sterilize
yeah,
everything.
exactly, yeah.
And that our bodies are designed to almost self-inoculate with little pathogens and little bacteria that are all over the place. So we teach our immune system to defend itself by exposing ourselves to the things that are around us. We are, as a species, very good at living for thousands of years. We've done it very successfully for
Yes.
thousands of years.
Yes.
And because we've been exposed to small amounts of bacteria and pathogens.
Yeah.
So we build up a natural immunity. So now you are washing your hands with triclosan, which is terrible for the liver, frankly, and you're teaching your you're actually down-regulating your immune system. You're stopping the teaching process or that self-inoculation process, and especially with children.
Yeah.
Kids are meant to be in schools with lots of other kids who are sick because that's teaching their immune system how to defend itself. And of course, regular use of antibiotics is a disaster for the immune system long term.
Yeah.
You need to inoculate with probiotics.
Gosh, I wish I knew this stuff years ago, because I was a complete, and probably still am, but less so, germaphobe. Because of being sick, you think that germs are the reason, and then it's hand sanitizers, and I never had pets at home or in my environment and stuff, and that's very good for kids as well.
Sure.
to
children,
have
children with pets get
in
sick
the
less.
home. Yes,
They just do.
Look, I'm learning, so at least I'm getting better and better with that. So don't go away, because when we come back, we'll look at some of the natural ways of boosting a weak immune system. Stay with us.
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
Thanks so much for tuning into Real Health. If you've just joined us, we've been finding out about the complex yet fascinating immune system and how it contributes to our well-being. Well, many factors play important roles in how our body will respond when faced with immune challenges. And when our body's overwhelmed from dealing with excessive alcohol intake, secondhand smoke, lack of sunlight, stress, or even deficient sleep, antioxidant defenses become overwhelmed and white blood cells are weakened. And then our body struggles to fend off viruses and bacteria. So I suppose the question is, will you always feel sick when your immune system has been compromised?
I think it depends. We're so busy and we run so much. How much attention do you pay to your body
How
on a daily
centered
basis?
and in tune are you?
So I think very often your immune system is maybe suffering and you don't actually realize until you get properly sick. And are forced to pay attention. But there are lots of signs. I mean, fatigue, a lack of energy, you feel apathetic, you perhaps having allergies or skin reactions. If you're feeling really down or just not yourself. But very often they're things that we consider minor in day to day, because we're so caught up in day to day that you don't notice. But any kind of allergic reactions or sensitivity, you're not sleeping well, you said, they are all signs that your immune system is taking strain.
boosting the immune system versus building the immune system. I feel like people are like, oh, well, I don't need to do much, to nourish my body. I'll just keep on boosting my immune system.
Yeah, we tend to sort of go for the synthetics and something you can buy off a shelf. And very often these things are not bioavailable, which means your body doesn't really know what to do with them. So they end up in the toilet.
Yeah.
The perfect example is vitamin C. So ascorbic acid isn't very well absorbed. There are better forms of vitamin C, but you would know that if you didn't know that, if you know what I mean.
True.
So you don't know really what to buy. You see vitamin C, you buy it, you think it's good for you, and yeah, it's good for you, but there are better ways of doing it. So there are supplements and there are supplements.
Yeah.
The same goes for probiotics. It's, we think a probiotic is, everyone says, go take a probiotic, it's good for you. So you go take a probiotic, but it's doing nothing for you.
Yeah.
Because you could have an overgrowth of a specific bacteria in your gut, and this probiotic is actually adding to the problem.
Yes.
So unless you know what's going on in the gut, don't go there.
Yeah.
Rather go and speak to somebody who understands what to prescribe you, can understand from your symptoms what's going on in your gut firstly, and then can give you the right thing that will boost your immune system. Not necessarily just build it in time for winter, but give you ongoing, support.
Yeah.
And you get it from food. You get good bacteria from yogurt, from sauerkraut, from
kefir,
all of these things. So it's a case of being conscious of what you're doing and what you're feeding your body every day, not just sort of stockpiling the vitamin C for winter. It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's almost like that last minute approach every single time, as opposed to even preparing your body for next season, so that you don't have to consistently think about boosting your immune system.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because our immune system is working all the time.
Yes.
It doesn't just wake up before winter. That's what we think.
Yeah.
But you
Like,
can be
now's my time to do my job. Yeah.
Let's eat a bit healthier. And it's also seasonal. So you find in summer people eat a little bit better, and winter they eat a little bit bad. So they tend to go more towards the comfort foods as opposed to the healthy foods in summer.
Yeah,
so
who
you
wants
find
to eat a salad when you're freezing?
exactly.
Right?
So it does depend seasonally, but also just be aware that your immune system is there all the time. And if you're continuously looking after your body, that's mind, body, and soul, you will have a good immune system. And if you do get sick, it's not the end of the world, Give yourself that break and get back on it after that. It really is something that you need to look at as a day-to-day thing and not just cramming before.
I try to think of it like it's such a smart system, and I want to help it. You know what I mean? I want to nourish it. I want to assist it, as opposed to giving it a harder task to do. So when people say to me, go, why do you don't have to eat healthy all the time. Oh, come on, relax a little. I'm like, no, it's amazing. I'm so grateful for what it actually does for me.
Yes.
Why not give it, the support that it needs?
Well, I mean, your immune system faces challenges on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Just like every system in your body faces challenges on a daily basis. So if you can support it on a daily basis, you build it.
So how do we do that with through nutrition?
Well, firstly, I think we've got to stop reacting to things like colds. So the minute we get a cold, you want to go off to the doctor and get an antibiotic.
Yes.
Yes.
And a cold is actually a healthy thing. It's not the flu. It's not a chest infection. It's a cold. It's almost like a little tutorial for your immune system, teaching it how to sort of maybe fend off bigger pathogens later on. So, look after yourself.
Yeah.
The first thing you can do is take some time out. And very few people will take time out. You just work through it, push through it, and that's where the immune system really gets suppressed. So when you get sick or start feeling the first signs of a cold, is to sleep and to nourish yourself with whole food, not just sugar and things like that. So soups, chicken soup, there's a reason why it's called Jewish penicillin. There's a lot of good stuff in soup, your vegetables
Broths,
and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think like having a cold is permission to nurture yourself. And that is taking something that would be negative and turning it positive and helping your body recover.
And prevents it from becoming something else. I know, a lot of the time I'll get a message from a friend, feeling down, just going to grab something. And I always say, no, just go and sleep. Because that's I know, it's because I've tried so many things and I don't even know if they work, but I definitely know that if I say, I'm going home, my joints are sore, I'm not feeling lekker, put my head down, good couple of hours, and the next day I feel right as rain, So
it's so true. I tell my patients, if I'm giving you the sick note, I want you to go home and sleep.
Yes.
I don't want to see you in the mall shopping. I don't want to see you driving around. You have to go home and sleep because it is imperative. And people, we forget that. We always on the go.
Yeah.
But you have to rest that body.
What about a little bit of fasting? Because I've heard some people say even, intermittent fasting or fasting for a short period of time can then help because it turns digestion off and helps the body start repairing.
There's a place for fasting, but not for everybody.
Okay.
So if you're really sick and your immune system is very suppressed, for instance, if you've got HIV, it's not going to do you any favors.
Adds
So
to
for
your
the
stress.
it adds to the stress. So
Okay.
fasting is stressful. So although it does alleviate some of the systems, it can be, you need to be a healthy person to begin with,
Okay.
and know what you're doing. Fasting
Yes.
doesn't mean not having water. There are
Yes.
people who think that
Yeah.
fasting means not even water.
Yeah.
And that is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Fasting means you don't go to work.
Yeah.
You don't put stress on your system. It means you can sit and meditate if
Yeah.
you want to fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an Eastern philosophy. And what happens with those cultures who sort of live that way, they meditate and everything's down regulated. So fasting is helpful, but it's got to be done, again, controlled, probably with someone guiding you
Yeah,
what
in a
to
very
do.
supportive way.
Yoga, like, you've really got to calm down and do it over a weekend where you've got nothing going on. So it's a tool. It's
Yeah.
one of the tools.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get you guys tips and remedies on how we can boost and build the immune system as well. But boosting fruit and vegetable intake is known to bolster your immune system through the addition of vital nutrients and vitamins and minerals as well. But let's see what Christine has whipped up for us this time around.
In winter, our digestive system works harder, and therefore we're a lot more hungry and we're wanting more food. What's important is that we're nourishing our bodies with the correct food and not all the junk food. So many of us think, well, we're going to put on weight in winter and it's a really bad time for me. But actually your body works better in winter and actually digests food way better than it does in summer. So nourish it, give it what it needs. Today I'm going to show you a soup from my winter cleanse. It's a hearty winter vegetable soup. It is packed with immune boosting foods like onions and broccoli and cauliflower. It's got beans, leeks, onions, all anti-inflammatory foods as well. And what's great, it's great for weight loss and boosting your immunity to get you functioning properly, get your digestive system working so that you have no excuses to get sick this winter. So let's start with what we're going to be putting in our food. Right, let's get started. So a bit of olive oil, nice healthy gulp of that. Right. Then we're going to start with a beautiful red onion. I love using red onions. So much more flavor. I love eating them raw. Very, very good anti-inflammatory as well. So we're going to just lightly cut that up. And these soups are great. You don't have to be too precise about sizes or anything like that. Right, we're going to throw that in. Right, let's that start to simmer. The next thing we're going to put in is some leeks. Great seasonal vegetable for your immune system. We're going to gently cut those up. All of these foods are going to nourish your immune system, build you up so you don't get your colds and flus. And we want to stay off too many grains and too much dairy so we don't get too much sinus over the winter season. Next, some celery. And throw that in. What's also in season, which is so delicious and the smell is amazing when you're cooking it, is some fennel. And I found some lovely baby fennel, so we're going to try that. We're also going to saute that up with your leeks and your onions. All right, so we're going to let that cook for about a good 5 minutes to get it all soft and tender. But we do need to add some nourishing garlic into here, immune and cancer fighting component. Put about 4 cloves in, the more the merrier, because garlic is amazing for your immune system. So we want to build yourselves up, get your kids eating garlic at an early age to help their immune system as well. What I love about this soup is you can actually eat it any time of the day. You can have it as a snack, you can have it for lunch, for dinner, and you can use any vegetables you have in your fridge that you want to get rid of. Oh, the smell is absolutely amazing. Right, now we want to add some carrots into it, okay? Great beta-carotene. We want to get all our phytochemicals into our bodies. I love using baby carrots as they're so nice and sweet and delicious for the kids to eat as well. I'm very much about cooking for the whole family. I'm going to add our carrots in. Right. Now, I'm going to add some lovely vegetable stock. I made this a couple of weeks back. Homemade vegetable stock, which is great. You make a huge pot and then keep it in your freezer and bring it out whenever you need it. So there we go. When you're making a vegetable stock, all you're going to do is basically fry onions, carrots, celery, leeks, cabbage. You choose whatever vegetables you want. Add some thyme and rosemary to it, garlic, and then let it boil for a good, say, half an hour. Then strain it, pop it into little containers or glass jars and keep it in your freezer. Right, we're going to leave that for 10 minutes to cook. But in the meantime, I'm actually just going to add a teaspoon of some miso paste into it. This is delicious. It's a bit of a soya bean taste. It's all fermented and just adds that extra flavor to your soup. I've got some cannellini beans. You can use whatever you want. Any white beans, chickpeas, butter beans, whatever you want to use or prefer. You could add black beans to it as well. Anyway, I'm adding this. You don't even need to add beans if you don't want to. This soup is yours, so do whatever you want with it. Right, I'm going to just let that cook for 10 minutes and then we're going to add the rest of our vegetables to it, all our greens. Just before I forget, a little bit of rosemary. Great smell, great flavor, will go a long way. Right, it is smelling so good in here. Right, now we're going to put our greens in. So I'm going to chop up my green beans nicely. Add that in. Again, we don't want to overcook anything, otherwise it becomes all soggy and brown. Right, cabbage. These are little Savoy cabbages. Very delicious and very curly, very pretty. Throw that in. In winter, we honor various organs in our body. So it's important to have a lot of fiber, vitamin C, folic acid in your diet. Right, next is some broccoli. This is looking divine. Now for some bok choy. This is my new favorite vegetable at the moment. I absolutely love it. Right, we're going to chop these up roughly and add the whole lot in, no waste. Like I said, if you've got a whole lot of vegetables that you're wanting to use up in your kitchen, this is the perfect time to do that. Right, a little bit of salt and pepper. And some lovely fresh ground pepper. You can add a little bit of chili in if you'd like to, a little bit of turmeric if you wanted some added goodness. Oh, but this is looking so good. All going to wilt. You've got 1 more minute. You don't want to overcook those vegetables because you still want that lovely crunch. Right, food is done, crunchy and delicious. Let's dish up. There we go. A lovely immune boosting soup for winter for the entire family to eat and enjoy. What's great is you can have this soup on any diet. And it's certainly a weight loss soup. Well, there you have it, a warm winter soup. Enjoy, keep warm, snuggle next to that fire.
So our innate immunity includes mechanisms such as fever, stomach acid, skin and mucous membranes, and even chemicals that cause inflammation. We're going to touch on inflammation when we come back, and we're also going to discuss immunity and aging, so don't go anywhere.
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
If you just joined us on Real Health, we're discussing the immune system and ways that you can boost and build it. And stress plays a major role in affecting our immunity. Why is that?
We face stress daily, and there are so many different types of stress. So there's physical stress, which is sport, exercise, illness, infection. There's emotional stress, financial worries, job pressures, relationship difficulties. And there's environmental stress. You know, there's pollution and there's chemicals and there's cell phones and computers and all this stuff. So you are constantly bombarded. And if you consider that all of those things are coming in on a daily basis, you can see why it's a lot for the body to deal with. And we seldom step away from it. It's not always possible to step away from everything in your life that's creating stress. And obviously some stress is very beneficial. You need some stress.
Yes,
But chronic stress impairs your body.
In fact, inflammation, a little bit of inflammation is going to trigger the immune system. So it's like you do need the body, as you mentioned, to be challenged a little bit. And that's how it works, right? But it's when it moves beyond that.
But emotional stress actually creates inflammatory cytokines in the body. So the immune system's intelligence can't really tell the difference between an injury, like a cut, and an emotional trauma. So the immune system kind of reacts to that trauma in the same way it would react to an actual infection. And it sets off white blood cells and it starts going a bit berserk. Now you go and eat something and your immune system is heightened and it's on alert, and you eat a banana, it'll start going, well, the banana is the problem. So you create an allergic response. And where before you'd never have a response. So very often when somebody comes with an allergy, if you go back and say, what was happening when you were eating that thing that you reacted to? And very often you find there's a trauma, something went wrong that day. So that immune system is alerted and it'll attack whatever's going on in the environment.
And it goes also back to the cortisol, because remember our body is always in survival mode. And we may not consciously recognize that we are in survival mode. I mean, sitting in traffic, rushing around, getting things done, always trying to get a million things done in a day. And that cortisol is there to help us cope with it, but it also has a negative effect of affecting our immune system. So as soon as that cortisol level starts dissipating within the body, the immune system gets a chance to see what damage has been done now and what do I need to help fix and repair. And you'll find that continuous exposure to all the stress does lead to a lowered immune system. And if you don't find a balance in your life somehow, it will consistently be a problem.
That's where adrenal fatigue comes in, and then again we're seeing these overlaps as well. Another thing is that your body system is your body is so intelligent that it sits and says, well, I've got to do X, Y, and Z. But the priority may be Z first, which is keeping your heart pumping and your eyes open, you know? So it says, well, listen, that rash that you're dealing with right now, I cannot deal with it, you know? And that's why it will persist, you know? So when you give it the chance to say, okay, fine, I can now start dealing with this and I can now start healing that. And that means reducing all of those stresses.
Absolutely, and that's where proper nutrition and supportive lifestyle practices come into play. That's why it's so important to eat well as often as you can, to exercise, to try and get great sleep, to try and manage your stress levels.
And you don't have to start with everything at one time. You just sit down and say, okay, what can I do? Is it possible to do this? Is it possible, you know, to wake up earlier and start exercising then? Or should maybe exercise, I'll put that on the back burner now, but I can reduce the environmental stress and toxicity in my environment.
There are such simple things. You can hydrate. You can drink more water because dehydration makes your body vulnerable to illness. You can breathe deeply.
And
we seldom take a sip of water. We seldom, you know, we shallow breathe because we're so busy. But if you can take 3 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day to deep breathe, you flood your body with oxygen, which is amazing for you know, your blood and for your brain function and for your energy
live
levels.
in an oxygenated environment.
No.
Right?
So simple little things like that, which really are not difficult. You don't have to join a gym to drink an extra glass of water. You can breathe deeply while you're sitting in traffic at a robot that's not working. Or, you know, there are little things you can do,
you know,
that make a difference.
The 3 things that boost your immune system more than anything are for free.
Absolutely.
Breathing, water and sleep.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And we don't, no one does those things.
Pays attention
we
to
don't
it,
pay attention to it. And they cost nothing. So,
So don't tell me it's expensive to
and and all 3 of those things, breathing, sleeping and drinking water, help to reduce your stress levels as well.
So although non-strenuous exercise is good for immunity, strenuous exercise can potentially increase oxidative stress and can therefore lower immunity. So there's a role for nutrition to play here in supporting the effects of exercise. And we visited Kathleen Alder to get her lowdown on what she thinks.
I'm Kathleen, and I have become and now I'm a wellness advisor. I instruct yoga, I instruct yoga instructors, I instruct Pilates, and I'm a dancer. My passion is dancing and health, basically just feeling as best as one possibly can. When I was a child, my parents were always very much about what to eat, what not to eat. We grew up in a very sporty family. So I kind of grew up with it, so it was a natural way for me. But then when I was traveling overseas and I was dancing and I was putting a lot of stress on my body, I realized the importance of being healthy, especially when putting more stress on the body, because when I wasn't looking after myself, I was getting sick, I was getting injuries, etc., etc. So I realized that it isn't just something that I could take for granted. You have to actually look at it and take it more seriously in order to let the body be the best it can be, I suppose. The immune system is very important to our well-being because that is our body's first defense against illness. It helps us to stay healthy, it helps us to metabolize correctly, it helps us to fight the infections that we pick up through every day, whether it's a common cold, to flu, to an odd germ that we might pick up. The types of exercises one wants to do, I mean, all exercise is good for us, but if we do too much stressful exercise, it can actually hinder the immune system and it brings the immune system down, which is why we tend to get sick if we don't boost the immune system after strenuous exercise. So if you want to do a type of exercise that supports the immune system, you're looking at what makes the body feel comfortable, like your yoga exercises, a particular breathing exercise, one that supports the digestive system again, one that supports the nervous system, one that supports the respiratory system. The first exercise I'm going to show you, it's a breathing exercise and it's a very, very important one. We call it Shining Skull because it helps to cleanse out the excess toxins from the lungs. We release so much, we release 70% of our waste and toxins through the breath. So we start by just getting the breath working correctly. And also it helps to massage the organs. So it's a combination of the two that we're going to be doing. So the breathing exercise that I'm demonstrating, we're using the stomach muscles. So basically we're focusing on a very strong exhalation, a very deep contraction of the stomach muscles to exhale. And we're having a passive inhalation. And what this strong contraction does is it creates a pump and it's pushing through, it's getting all the toxins out of the lungs, it's massaging the organs, so we're massaging the organs of the tummy, pancreas, liver, spleen, stomach, and upper intestines. And then what you do is you do a round of 10, 20 or 30, just a strong exhalation, as strong as you possibly can, as if someone's punching in the stomach. The exercise I'm demonstrating is called Downward Dog. It's one of the yoga postures of many that help the immune system and help the detoxification of the body. We put the body into a semi-inverted position, which helps to lengthen the spine, which brings the spinal fluid and helps to pump up the discs in the spine, but it also gets the blood flow towards the heart and into the lungs. It flips the organs upside down, it takes pressure off the organs, it gives them a bit of a stretch by taking the pressure off it. And I'm adding to that a serpent breath being where I'm taking a deep whispering breath in through the nose and out through the mouth as if I'm misting up glass. And what that deep exhalation does while contracting the stomach muscles again is it helps to make sure that I'm getting all the excess stale carbon dioxide out of the lungs while I'm in that position. So I'm assisting the respiratory system while I'm in that posture. The exercise I'm doing now, which is one of the many names, is wind relieving exercise with a twist. Basically what that does is I'm drawing the leg into my body, and by doing that I'm putting pressure into the ascending colon. So I do the right leg first, and my ascending colon gets a bit of a massage. And I breathe deeply while in that position, curling myself up to really get that ascending colon working. One of the ways we know when our immune system is compromised, with those feeling of being bloated, not digesting properly, not metabolizing properly, being constipated, this puts a huge strain on the body and the immune system, as most of our immune system is in the intestines. A good natural way to help get rid of bloatedness is aloe vera. Aloe vera juice is wonderful for that, as well as, of course, yogurt, your probiotics, pawpaw. Pineapple, if it's not too acidic for one, just helps to keep the gut and the intestines running smoothly. There's a very simple way to support the immune system on a day-to-day basis. Introducing ginger to tea, for example, or introducing a bit of parsley tea, introducing fresh herbs into your diet. Yes, I know garlic stinks, but introducing garlic on a daily basis, preferably raw. Introducing lemons. Lemons are a huge immune booster, green leafy vegetables, but it's just really to keep it simple.
So if stress suppresses the immune system, then practices that suppress stress will boost your body's ability to heal itself. Lowering levels of cortisol in the blood can improve sleep and boost the immune system, and this can easily be achieved by meditation or other relaxation techniques. So after the break, our experts share their own tips for boosting your immune system this winter, and we'll also be talking about the interesting topic of autoimmunity. Stay with us.
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
Well, thanks again for tuning in to Real Health. Now, we're talking about the immune system. It's one of the most complex systems in our body because of its ability to be selective. So can we really boost it overall, or should we just be trying to make it function better? Those are some of the questions that we've had answered. And we want to touch on something that's become a very interesting topic of late, because I think more and more people are finding out that they have some form of an autoimmune condition. What is autoimmunity?
So autoimmunity is a almost dysregulation of our immune system. Our immune system is very specific, and it targets specific cells and specific pathogens. But the problem with autoimmunity is that the body then turns on itself. And instead of attacking foreign particles or foreign pathogens in the body, the immune system starts attacking ourselves. And it will also, again, be specific. So it may attack the thyroid gland, it may attack the gut, it may attack the brain. There are so many tissues that the body can attack. And autoimmune disease basically means the immune system attacking itself and causing, obviously, more stress and strain on the body.
Like type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition, you know.
Hashimoto's
is an autoimmune condition. And you were saying in this instance that you shouldn't be boosting the immune system.
Yes. So especially with autoimmune disease, it's very difficult to just go out and buy stuff that you see on the shelf because you don't know the effect of it, especially if you're suffering with a chronic autoimmune disease. And unfortunately, most autoimmune diseases are chronic. So you have to be very careful about what you do and how you treat your immune system, because it is actually on the high. It's constantly attacking your system until it gets the job done. So by boosting immune system, you can actually damage your body in the long term.
I listened to a fascinating podcast where the doctor said, you know, sometimes we have a tendency of saying, well, if I have an autoimmune condition, my immune system is bad, or it's functioning incorrectly. And you're saying, no, your system is functioning the way it's supposed to, according to the triggers that it's receiving, according to the information that it's receiving. And if you can change that, you'd see that, hey, your body's actually just doing what it's supposed to do.
That's very true.
That's a different way of looking at things, because you don't have a bad thyroid. It's just functioning the way as best as it can in that specific environment.
I agree with
I think a tough thing is aging and different stages of life, pregnant women, helping kids build better immunity. What would your advice be for the elderly, for example, or someone that's a little bit older?
Very much the same. I mean, your immune system, your function obviously, or its strength obviously weakens as we age, like everything. So you need to support it as much as you can with good nutrition and moderate exercise and sleep and managing stress. elderly people do tend to be more vulnerable to things like influenza and pneumonia, but they then would need to build their immune systems consistently and look after their health consistently in order to kind of weather the bad weather.
That being said, and I know, Nick, you're probably going to agree with me on this, is that I've heard from some people that have been building their immune systems, for a longer period of time, saying that they feel like they've gotten better and stronger as they've aged, because sometimes we just accept that things decline when we age, as opposed to just doing what we're supposed to do.
Yes.
And we age gracefully that way,
Look, if you look after your immune system over a lifetime, for instance, one of the biggest reasons why we decline with age is because we manufacture less digestive enzymes. And now the acid and the enzymes in the gut are the first line of defense to the immune system, because the outside world enters the body through the mouth and through the respiratory system. So if you've got a good ammo situation going on in your gut, and you can digest and break down and kill off the bad guys, you're going to absorb protein, for instance, and you won't lose muscle mass. And if you're not losing muscle mass as you age, your health doesn't decline. It's loss of condition that leads to declining with age, slumping over, not being able to be as active. So you don't have to age unhealthily.
Yes.
You've got to look after, firstly and foremost, your digestive system. And possibly the most dangerous thing you can do is go on a low-fat diet. Because those vitamins that we need for our arsenal, specifically vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin E, and vitamin A, are fat-soluble. So without healthy fats in the diet, you can't absorb those. And without those, you can't have a robust immune system. So that's a big problem. The low-fat idea is still there. If you want to lose weight, you've got to go low-fat, which is simply not the case.
What about pregnant women? Because we know that they can't take certain things, while they're pregnant. How do they boost their immune system naturally?
Well, definitely diet, because they're eating for two. So obviously they have to have a really good diet. And hopefully it goes beyond pregnancy, because you teach your kids those same habits that you will learn. So during pregnancy, definitely try eat a little bit healthier. Even though some women do complain about food cravings for strange things, have them, but pay attention, go back to what is the normal and what nutrients you're feeding your body. Supplements wise, I would advise to see a practitioner before just going to the shop and taking things off the shelf. Just because you are in a bit more of a special needs type of situation.
Yeah, because when you self-medicate anyway, you're going to walk in there and say, well, what should I have? And there's agendas. People need to sell things. Sometimes people don't even know. You get advice from someone that doesn't necessarily know, or marketing pops out at you. And like you said, you're spending fortunes and it's actually not working at the end of the day. To be wiser and to develop a strategy would be going to see someone and then going out and getting whatever they recommend.
For sure.
Definitely.
When you're pregnant, your body or your immune system is already heightened. It's the body's natural way of making sure that the baby's protected. And what I say to all pregnant women is, you're eating for two, but what you eat becomes your child. So be very careful what you put in your mouth, because that child's cells are formed from the foods you eat. So you have to be extra specially pedantic about the quality of food you eat.
In fact, mentioning that, you again triggering something that I read, where when a baby is birthed, the mom imprints her immunity onto that baby through that birthing process. That blew my mind, because that's why you need to have a strong immune system, because that poor little kid won't have anything else unless you have something to give it.
The bacteria in the birth canal actually inoculates that child and sets up that child's immune system for life. So if you are having a C-section, which is unavoidable for a lot of people, you need to re-inoculate that child with probiotics, quite specific ones.
And then take other steps, to make sure that your baby has
But that is nature's way of making sure the species survives.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, your immune system plays two vital roles in your body. It destroys or neutralizes harmful organisms, and it stands as a custodian of your cells, ensuring that they don't degenerate. So stay tuned as we delve further into one of the most amazing systems in the human body.
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better.
We've been discussing immunity and how to boost one's immune system. And Nicole, you swear by rebounding. What is rebounding?
So rebounding, it's a form of exercise. You buy yourself a really great quality mini trampoline and you bounce on it daily. It's low impact. It is low impact. It is so much fun, which is brilliant for stress relieving.
Yeah.
But what it does, more importantly, is it obviously encourages oxygenation of your body, gets your blood flowing, but it facilitates and supports lymph drainage. And your lymphatic system is your body's waste system. So it is through the lymph system that we eliminate toxins. And rebounding encourages that.
So how long should you be rebounding for?
Rebounding for, some people do it for 5 minutes a day, but depending on your body and on your fitness levels, 15 to 20 minutes a day is an absolute gift.
And Nikki, you were saying if you can, rebound sauna.
Yes, yeah, because you're going to be sweating those toxins through the skin. So our liver and our skin are your biggest detox organs.
Yes.
So you are helping the lymph drain, but then you're getting those toxins out through the skin. So yeah, it's best to have your rebounder next to your sauna if you've got a sauna.
If we've got a sauna.
Otherwise at the gym, so pop the thing outside. So it looks a bit funny, but sweat and bounce.
There's lots of things that look funny at a gym. Yeah, so we can just add one more to it. Yashantha, your final thoughts on building one's immune system?
So definitely take care of your gut.
Yeah.
Number one. Also, also encourage people to just research and speak to your nutritionist, your homeopath, all about how you can look after your gut. And understand that your immune system does a lot more for you than you actually know.
Yes, be grateful for what it does. Nikki, 5 great foods for boosting immunity.
Okay, so I'm going to go a bit off the beaten track here.
Nice, love it.
Right. So most of us who are trying to lose weight or be healthy try not to eat carbs at night. And I'm saying that's the wrong thing to do for your immune system.
Okay.
What you need to do is have a little bit of glycogen at night because that increases your production of melatonin, which helps you sleep. And sleep is the best way to defend your immune system or to reset it. And what happens is if you sleep properly, you're going to have the right level of cortisol in the morning and the right levels of DHEA in the morning, which is going to help you build muscle, it's going to help you lose fat. So what we want to do is get that cycle of the hormones going correctly. So if you have all your carbs in the morning, you're going to be hungry and tired by midday. But if you have your glycogen in the form of white rice, everyone goes, wow, white rice.
I thought that's a word we don't use
No.
now.
So white rice also helps encourage the growth of healthy bacteria in the gut.
Oh
So
yes, it's a resistant starch,
it's a resistant starch.
But it's the amount, right?
It's the amount. So you really don't need more than about a quarter of a cup. It's not about having a pile of white rice.
Sorry,
you
guys.
just need a little bit just to get the ball rolling. And you'll make melatonin and you'll sleep better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fascinating. She just told us to have some sushi.
Exactly.
Any lifestyle changes, Nicole, that we should be implementing to boost our immune systems?
Absolutely hydrate. Drink water, drink herbal teas, breathe.
Yeah.
Take 5 minutes and focus on your breath. Get outside.
I like
absorb
that
the sun, walk barefoot in the garden.
Oh, yes.
All of these things, and be mindful of your thoughts. Be very careful, be very aware of your thoughts. Pessimistic people get sick more often.
Yeah.
Yes.
So try to smile as much as you can. It sounds so airy-fairy, but try and be positive, and it makes a difference.
Yes, just smile a little bit more. See, again, these things are free. Guys, thanks so much for joining us in studio today. It was awesome having you with us. And if you found anything valuable from the show, we'd love to hear from you. In fact, you can send us an email to info@thehomechannel.co.za. And if you'd like to get in touch with any of our guests on today's show, you can go to thehomechannel.co.za. So remember to stay healthy and remember our health mantra: you're healthy, vibrant, and lean. Love and take care of your being. Until next time, cheers.
Might be the summer trees, but I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. Ba-ba-da.